Hello, everyone and no one, and welcome to another Talking Into the Void. Since we've passed Christmas, hope you had a Merry Christmas, or it's like, what, this is the 5th or 6th night of Hanukkah? Tyr, I don't, it's the 5th, and Tyr, I don't care about your pronunciation of it, but with me, as always, is Tyr Alexander. Tyr, how you doing?
I'm doing great, my friend. Just fucking with you. And it's Hanukkah.
And join us as well as Angela. Angela, how you doing?
Doing all right. How about you?
Not so bad. We also got Will It Forge. See, off doing something else at the moment. Okay, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he has returned.
Joining us tonight as well is Mitch Nemo. Mitch, how you doing?
Great googly moogly.
We also have Critical Thinkers Guild, otherwise known as Dark Laser, if I remember correctly. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
And then to fill up the stocket even more, because I'm just using Discord for this, we have Tragic Gardener as well. Tragic, how you doing?
Bring it in the rear.
Ew.
I was gonna say rotten boy.
I was sitting here getting more and more upset with everybody because nobody was listening to me talk, and then I realized I was muted.
Oh,
Oops.
wow.
I've done that. And Happy New Year to everyone, even
I didn't
though it's
even
still a few
notice
days
that.
away. So, what are y'all's New Year's plans?
Well, I'm going to try to stop saying corn. Mr. Scott knows what I'm talking about.
Corn.
It's in the chat, I saw it.
If you were watching Kefke's stream tonight, you know what I'm talking about.
I was
Yep.
finishing the second season of Reacher.
And I was in Frosted.
I'm not
Sure was
accusing
such a.
anyone of
I
missing
liked
it. I'm
Reacher.
just-
Oh, I mean, I still had the stream up. It was just muted. So I can at least, support the people that are doing it. Because, like, Far was also streaming, so I had hers up as well.
Yeah, giving her reviews.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd heard
If
that.
anybody has like 5 streams up, you can't join everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I agree. It's. I do what, maybe 2-3 streams a week, and I have a hell of a time finding a chance to just sit back and watch a stream.
Oh, yeah. The only
Yeah.
ones I keep up with the most,
they
like,
got
if
coins
Monkey
now. That's
streams
cool.
or the AAA guys, just because I like them. I keep up with some streams if I can.
There's only like 2 or 3 streams that I'll join up once in a while, but everyone else nowadays is kind of boring.
I bounce between streams. Like,
I miss
there's a
watching
lot-
AAA.
There's a lot of them I find interesting. It's just I just can't seem to make the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a lot of people in our circle that have started streaming.
Yes.
And they're all
Yeah.
at different times now too.
So Mitch is just, I guess that's your only plan, is just to stop trying to say corn, like probably not doing anything
Well,
else.
more or less, and of course the
that-
real New Year's plan doesn't take place until the 2nd.
I was like, wasn't really looking at resolutions, but okay. And
Okay.
yeah, so I was like, what are y'all doing for it? Like going to a party, whatnot?
nah. Probably chilling with you guys.
Well, it's Tuesday going into, Tuesday is New Year's Eve. So like,
I was
no one's doing any sort of get
Sadly, I
together,
don't
like
do
friends or
parties and
family.
stuff like that.
well, I was
Nope.
gonna say that
Angela, please continue.
New Year's Day I will be at my mother's.
Yay.
And like I said, on the 2nd, on Never Watch Alone, we're watching the latest version of Never Hike Alone, the Ghost Cut,
Yep,
Yes.
where we got our
which
name.
features the music, starts with a music video, Disappear, goes into the first Never Hike Alone. No, I'm sorry. From there, it goes into Never Hike in the Snow.
Hmm.
Then it goes into the first Never Hike Alone, and then Never Hike Alone Part 2.
Nice.
With some, there's also some bonus features at the end of the credits, if I'm not mistaken,
Very cool.
regarding some upcoming things and stuff.
stuff and things.
You know,
Those two.
Yeah, I've still got to work that on Thursday. Like I get Wednesday off and that whole thing. So technically going into the new year, I will be doing chest and tries.
Oh, wait, with the workout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
I took
don't know any of the workout lingo, so it takes me a second.
I will
Well,
also be doing a what?
No, I'm sorry. I just
If
have
you say
to.
you're doing chess, for all I know, you're getting into woodworking.
Back to Mitch not saying corn so much. My brother says corn with a K. The band is amazing.
They have some songs.
Yes,
Something-
Korn is an
yes.
amazing band.
It's a shame they broke up. Yeah.
Hi, brother.
Wait, they did?
I don't know.
One of them found God.
One of the
God was
guitarists.
lost.
Aw.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Kind of throws the Supreme Being thing into the hopper, doesn't it?
no,
Wait, who was it that quit and made the whole breakup?
If I'm not mistaken, one of them literally found God.
Yeah,
And
one of them
they-
became like pretty heavily Christian and whatnot. And as far as I'm aware of, they didn't break up. They just decided to just that with what they were doing, it ran its
Stop
course. So
touring
they
and stuff?
stopped touring and like they didn't officially break
Well,
up.
I hate that. I hate when that happens.
Look, I'm all
like,
for
oh,
religion.
like-
I respect all religions, but
I
come
don't.
on,
Brian
dude.
Ted Welch came back to the band. That
did?
must be the guy that went Christian and decided that meant he had to leave the band.
There was nothing anti-Christian really about their band,
I know.
Well,
as far as I'm
only-
aware.
we only get to see one aspect of the band, though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
possibly what they were doing while they were on tour that was not
Well,
diving.
I know for one
Yeah.
of the things on there because I think it was Jonathan Davis had a massive drug problem for a while, and how he got clean was just basically sleeping for a week in the damn
Tour bus.
tour bus.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could probably see that.
But also, it would seem kind of weird to me that I understand the finding God thing. Okay, I understand that that's a very big that's a big life change. It's a big event, you know. I mean, it's a massive perception shift. But to then quit your band, that's like abandoning people who depend on you.
Mhm.
It's like
Which weirdly,
abandoning your brother.
Abandoning your friends.
well,
I mean-
no, let's not overstate it. A band isn't built out of friendship or a sense of family. It's built out of business.
Yeah.
That
And
too.
you have to remember that for all the PR and shit you do, that the marketing, oh, we're friends, we're family, blah, that's all bullshit. You're business partners, and if you don't get shit sorted early in a business relationship, when it comes time to do a separation, it's going to get ugly. Now
Yes,
maybe Korn did it right, and they did a separation.
Well, from what Clown's
Or they
saying,
had a separation plan. So when they separated, it's like, okay, we've got all this shit sorted. And then the guy says, okay, well, I want to come back. And like, oh, okay.
well, from what Korn's
That's cool.
saying, the only member who actually left is the drummer, but that's because he had tendon issues in his hand. So that would make sense from a business aspect. He wouldn't be able to do his job. So he's like,
Right. It's like in Kiss, Mark something. I can't remember his last name. He was a guitarist. I think between Vinnie Vincent and Bruce Kulick.
Hi, DG.
He
Oh, did you?
one day he woke up and one of his hands was swollen to the size of a cantaloupe.
Ooh.
And he had like a cancer or something that just went fucking nuts.
yeah, the only
We are
one,
currently discussing why people leave bands.
the only
Yes.
other one I can think of really for that was like I think it was like
Mark St. John.
creative differences when it's like that for like, wasn't it Dave Mustaine who left freaking Metallica?
No, they fired him.
Oh, they fired him. I could
Yeah,
remember.
he was fired.
Well, then he
Oh,
made
just really
Megadeth.
quick.
In a very shitty way too, from what I understand.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's like,
But I've heard that they've mended that fence.
Just really quick, DG had been asking when I would make content. I have made content. My channel is called Green Wolf Studios.
oh yeah, I gotta add that to the thing now.
So do I. Look at Angela
Can
making
you
me
make
change
content as well?
I did tell you that I would let you know when I started
Yeah.
making content. I have done the thing.
Honestly, Mr. Scott writes, is that why for the most part bands are dead? Corporate support doesn't seem to support or like bands anymore. I think it's I think that's part of it. I think what happened was they lost power when it comes to distribution because of stuff like YouTube and Rumble and
Yeah,
and,
Well-
and you know all these other different
a lot of
ways
art, a
thanks
lot.
to the internet that
to-
we have
well-
to distribute our product.
Well, to also kind of cut you off, Mitch, and that one, it's also like a lot of artists have found out as well if they can get out of their contracts, because most of what they have to do is pay back the freaking record studios and everything.
Yes,
So if they don't go with a fucking contract in the first place and can put their stuff on like Spotify or stuff like that, they're getting paid directly. They don't have to
exactly.
pay
And-
the royalties to the record company first. The
I
other
have
thing
heard-
would be with if you're looking at for the mainstream media of music, is too much of it's become formulaic, because a lot of the people who were the new hip and in the thing years ago are now the ones that are running the industry. So they still think they know what everyone wants. And because there's stuff that just gets record plays, because, well, it's kind of like Hollywood, they just force it out anyways.
Yes, it's insisted upon.
Mhm.
Plus, there's a couple of other factors too. You nailed it when you said formulaic, because record companies love their formulas.
Mhm.
And, you know, and it's another great example of taking the wrong lessons from success. When bands like Winger and Whitesnake had a hit, you know, the record company's like, we need bands that start with W.
Or like when
That's
the
not how that works. It's
the
not how music
post-grunge-
works,
the
you know.
post grunge thing came out, so they tried to get it, and Creed started getting really big. They tried to get, I was like and Pearl Jam, like Creed and Pearl Jam started getting big. They started pumping bands that sound like them as well. Hell, when grunge got
Right.
big and they found that out, they would purposely move bands to Seattle so that way they could get their start there.
Right. And it's plus that so yeah, the record companies like their formulas, and music doesn't operate that way.
Yeah.
I mean, music does operate on a formula, make no mistake, but the creative process happens however it damn well happens. You can't say,
I mean,
okay,
I can't
blonde
mix
guy
and
with
match
long hair.
elements and get success.
You
Darn.
can't just put a blonde guy with long hair in front of a microphone and say that's your lead singer.
Well, and
And
due
boom,
to
you'll be
the
successful. It doesn't work that way.
the auto tuning and everything else like that, they can specifically put people in there. And Clown, to go on that one, you also have to remember it's like bands and artists went from selling singles to eventually selling the whole album put together, then purposely selling albums, and now they're doing towards single because of streaming services and Apple Music and
Yes.
shit like that, because it's easier to write one song, put that out, and it gets everywhere, and people can download to buy that just one song, than it is to be like, well, we have to make an album that's got fucking 13 tracks.
Exactly.
And they're
Also-
all like 2 minutes back in the day when they were like 8.
Well,
Also,
it
what
depends
I
on the
think is
band as
still
well.
not widely known is that when you sign a record deal, if you're making 2.5% sales of the record, you've got one of the better deals out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the deals are entirely geared toward the record company to make a profit.
Oh,
and fuck
yes.
The band.
The
The only thing the band makes money on is certain types of merchandising
Mhm.
and live shows.
Yeah.
So if you've got a record deal and you're selling, say 2 million copies, you're making better money selling 20,000 copies where you make a direct profit instead of having to go through a record company.
Mhm.
You're much better off selling 20,000
Well,
as an
because
indie
as well
than
with the
2 million as a signed artist.
Well, with the other thing most people don't realize with the record companies, you're getting a fronting of money, so you have to pay all that shit back.
Yes, because they would.
Yeah.
The way it works is the record company will front you like $250,000,
Mhm.
pay off your car. And that's when people go
Well,
out
no,
and buy a Maserati.
yeah. So that's the whole thing. Is it's typically front. It's like that's all put out so they can go get the studio
they can-
time, do all
so they
do all
can-
the freaking pageantry of trying to sell the album and record.
Yes.
I can't remember what the hell that shit's
It's
called.
so you don't have to go to a day job.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why when everyone says like Spotify doesn't pay artists enough, they don't realize it's like, well, it's because that money has to go to the record companies first because
Yep.
they have to get paid back what they're owed. But if you're a
Exactly.
somewhat popular artist who doesn't have it, God, I can't remember which fucking hip hop guy did that. It's pissing me off because like they try to tell him, well, if you don't sign a record label with us or like a record deal with us, you won't get anywhere. And that whole thing is he was already big. He's like, I'm making 100% profit on all my shows, all my merch and my music. Why would I cut a deal with you?
Exactly.
Like, what's his name?
I want to say it starts with an L.
Well, there's one guy I listen to. His name Tom McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is before
Love
Tom
Tom
McDonald.
He does not deal with
Yeah.
any record company.
He's his own employee.
But no, like
I mean, look at
they're
we tend to give Prince a lot of shit for that changing his name to that symbol, but that was to get out of a record deal.
That the
That
artist no longer exists.
Right.
That's why when a lot of bands go through it into it as well, they try to make sure that they have all of their shit on like the production of it, so that way they don't have to
right.
pay as many other people.
That's why the band owns the publishing company
Yep.
that's publishing their lyrics.
Well, I
And
do
their-
know there
and their
was
music.
one band that no matter what, they always put one guy on their production team on there, even though he's deceased. But it's so all the money that came through that since he was there when they straight up started goes to his family.
Right.
Because like he had worked with
Fair
them,
enough.
like he had worked with them the entire time when they were. It's like when they were struggling and everything, and when they got big, he was still with them, like and. He just helped him out. Like he was there from the get-go because it was a business thing. So like, no, when he died of natural causes or something or other, they're like, we're going to take care of his family because he helped us when no one else would.
Right. And
that's
that's why a lot of musicians open up their own recording studios as
Mhm.
well. They get into the production business.
Oh yeah. Like,
Mhm.
the Offspring back in the day for the whole, punk thing, like they created their own thing. So that way they could basically get bands a deal where they could get some money to get out and do more and they could get more band. It's like basically because of doing that, they were trying to put that money out. It's like every return they were getting was going back to the studio so they could put it back out to more bands.
Yeah.
So it's like they already
Mhm.
had a name and were making money. So like, okay, we want to get other bands to go. It's like to get a chance. If they succeed, that's on them. If they don't, well, we'll try.
I mean, shit, the Ramones' first album, you know how much it cost them to produce that?
Nope.
Hey,
I think it was in 1974. It cost them $6,000, which even then
Was a lot.
was extremely low
Oh,
to
for
produce an
an
album.
yeah, for an album, yeah.
Is they went in and they just fucking played what the shit that they had already been playing and the shit they already knew.
Mm-hmm.
And boom. I think they recorded it in under a week and then released it.
What song?
No, the whole album, the Ramones' first album.
like the Ramones.
Let's see.
Hmm.
I want to see if I can find out on the interwebs how much $6,000 was in 1974 and versus today and whatnot.
$50,000.
I mean, shit. You look like we've already said of how it goes over from like the music industry to the film industry and whatnot. Look how they
Mitch,
go with the formulaic of it.
Mitch, hold on. Mitch, what year you say?
74.
1974. Today
And
it's
6,000?
38,000. Today it's 38,396.
That's what I thought. I thought it'd be like $50,000, but 30,000 is close enough.
That's
and that's-
cheap for production for a full album for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to get a song out for that much today.
No, and then if you're going to try to include a
Unless
music
you're
video in there-
self-publishing.
Right. And self-publishing really is the way to go.
Yeah.
Avoid no agents. You might still need a lawyer, depending on
Yeah, pretty much you're just going to need a lawyer.
and that's it. I mean, it's not necessarily it's cheaper than, let me rephrase that. It's more cost effective than going through an agent and a manager.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what you're doing too. I mean, for a band, you still need a manager to set up gigs.
Yeah. It's like you'll need some of that
Mhm.
still,
But
obviously.
if you're a writer, you don't need that. Set
No.
up book signings, maybe. But the marketing environment's a lot different now too.
Oh, yeah.
If I've successfully sold 3 books, I'm not going to go on a talk
A
show
book tour.
tour. Yeah. Unless they hit J.K. Rowling numbers.
Yeah.
True.
But if I'm just able to make a living at it, then it's not going to be a huge payoff. I mean, it's not, but it's going to be better than having to pay off a team of lawyers, a team of publishers, a
Mhm.
publicist, a fucking agent, a manager, a fucking hairstylist and costume designer and all that other shit you got to pay for when you go on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to say, hey, you know what? Throw in an extra $5 and I'll sign the book and mail it to you.
Yeah.
We can do an interview online
Mhm.
on a live stream.
Throw in an extra $5 and I don't know, I'll smack my deck with a book or something.
That's the other thing. I get to set the price for my book.
Yeah, it's
You know,
true.
It doesn't have to be some
Like
industry.
$15 a book.
Doesn't have to
No,
be
a
an
dollar a
industry-
book.
You don't need an industry
$1
standard
a
of
book.
fucking
Well, depend on.
$50 for a hardback.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
On Amazon, if you sell a digital copy of your book on Amazon, $1 usually gets people in. If your book
Yeah.
is good and people buy it, you get good feedback and whatnot, and you can sell it for the second one for more.
Yeah, if like you go like no more than a couple bucks for the entirety of the digital book, and then if like they want a hardcover, you make that one about 5 to 10, or not hardcover, like a
Yeah.
paperback.
A paperback,
Hardcover,
yeah.
hardcover, no more than like $20.
Yeah,
Because if you can make it,
people
because if you can make it like your good, really nice looking hardcovers are like no more than $20. People have been like, why would I spend $10 on the freaking paperback when I can spend $20 get that fucking hardcover, baby?
Right. And
It's
in
going
either
so
case,
good on
an
my
extra
shelf.
$5 get you an autograph in the book.
but even then, people are more willing to spend $1 to $3 for a book.
Oh, that's
You
why I
know,
said
to
like,
rephrase that. I want to rephrase that. Very important. Another $5 plus shipping.
But like I said, for a digital book with an unknown author, people are willing to part with like $1 to $2, like $3. It's easier to part with that amount of money than $9.
yeah,
Exactly.
Oh, this looks interesting. How about this is like $4. I don't mind dropping $4 for a book, $5
that's why-
for a digital book.
that's why like you would just basically
Right.
could
No,
also
that's fine.
do sales and whatnot occasionally. So like
Oh,
it
yeah.
would be like the paperback would
signings
be
and
like
shit like
5.
that.
No, not really book signs, because then you don't have to travel and that whole thing. But you would just basically have it that the paperback, like I said, nowhere from like $5 to $10. But then like once a year you'd put it on sale to where it's like no more than the 5. Like if it's $10, it's half off.
Yeah. And you know what else? If you're selling it that way directly, or even through Amazon or whatever,
I mean, you still have to.
You post a schedule for when you're going to ship out the autograph books.
Mhm.
That way, you don't have to run around willy nilly every day or so signing shit. You can just go on a signing spree for about a week, and then ship them out in October.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you let your customer know that shit up front. Yeah, you get an autograph copy, but I won't ship them out until October, et cetera, et cetera. Cost you an extra $5. In the meantime, buy a paperback or get a digital copy. Or you know what? You know what else you can do? If they want an autographed copy, include a digital copy with that.
I actually was gonna say just about to say that. It's like, yeah, if they're doing the
So they
autograph
can
copy,
read it right away.
Yep.
That sounds like a better idea.
That or if they're very adamant against the the digital copy, offer a discount on the paperback. Hey, you'll have to wait on this one, but I can send you a copy of the paperback for a discounted price, so that way you can at least have the book to read it.
Yeah, give them an option of a discounted paperback or a free digital if they're buying a hardcover.
Especially
and
if
they want an
autographed.
Now, if
I
they
don't
want
see
an
a
autograph
problem
in a
with that.
paperback, offer them a free copy of the digital. Why not? You got to be smart about it. You got to compete, and it's a very competitive market.
Damn it, I did it again. Sorry. Has anybody here actually been to a book signing?
Nope.
Like,
No.
Once, yes.
yeah.
A signing, no, but I did do the midnight release of a couple of Harry Potter books.
I got to go to Dan Bongino, the radio show host. He had his book out, and he was at Barnes and Noble here. And I misjudged how many people would be there. And I didn't I was like, I'm not going to take off work for this. I'll just swing by between calls. That didn't fucking work. There was 1,500 people there.
Damn.
Jesus.
And I show up there and I'm looking around.
That's also someone that's it's a well-known thing who didn't write that then wrote a book. So they have that going for them as well.
Hey,
What's
Green
up,
Badger?
Badger?
You're green.
And I was like, I have to go. So I took off and I come back. Still too long. On my third coming back, I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting this. But one of his guys actually seen me. It's like, you keep coming up here. It's like, yeah, I'm running service calls. And I can't take the day off, and I want his autograph, but I can't stop.
Still
And
gotta work.
He's like, yeah, you know what? We're just come on. And he's like, the guy's like, there's like this guy's trying to work. Is it okay if we're gonna let him come to the front line, get everything signed so he can actually get back out there and do stuff. And everybody in line's like, you're not okay.
Yeah.
Because people are generally okay when.
Now, had you barged in,
Yeah.
that would have been a different deal.
Yeah, like
Right.
they approached you. It's not like, the mom who comes in and it's just like, oh, can I go ahead of you? I have my kids in the car. No.
Or
Go out to your kids, bitch.
all right. So
Yeah,
I have.
Why are your kids in the car?
So I work at. Say it again. Work at the airport. And I used to work upstairs. Christmas time, you would have the people that would run to the front of the line. And, oh, I'm missing my flight. I need to get on my flight. And the line be out the ass. They just come straight up and don't consider everybody else that's in line. So I'd be sending them back. Like, you got to go to the end of the line. But I'm going to miss my flight. It leaves in like 8 seconds. Come on. It's Christmas. I don't care.
I'll tell you
You
one
gotta
thing,
go-
though. I'm sorry.
One of the only
really
book
quickly.
authors I would love to meet. One of the few book authors I'd love to meet.
Hey,
in
but
real
let
life
me
would
finish
be-
the damn story.
Sorry.
It's just really quick.
So about
You-
corn.
There's
Okay.
nothing that's ever really quick when tears talk.
Go ahead, Tim.
That's a lie. So the person would go to like the first person and right next in front of the line. Go, can I get in front of you? And they say, yeah. I'm like, no. You need to go to the right end of the line and ask everybody else up in front. And the first person that tells you no is where you stop.
That's right.
It's unfair. like they came in they came on time, or they came before you and queued up properly, and you just wanted to jump in the line because you were stupid and didn't come on time.
That's when you got to hit them with psychology and you say, "Excuse me, are these people assholes?" They'll say, "What?" And you go, "All these people you just cut in front of, are they assholes?" They'll say, "No." And you go, "So it's just you then."
Nice.
Oh,
I'm waiting to get the
Bravo,
shame.
Mitch.
I'm still waiting to get the proverbial "Do you know who I am?" And I'm like, "Did you forget?"
I
Like,
get that all
if
the
I
time.
worked in an airport, I would have such a problem of not being like, getting the fucking speaker, be like, "We need security. We need someone up here. We have a man who forgot who he is."
Well, yeah,
I
and
get
you
that.
know what else? You don't shout it at them.
Ugh.
You stay conversational, and you even a little polite in your tone. And you say things like, "Help me out. It'll come to me." When they start with like, "I've got
Probably
kids
a
in the
thing to come
car,"
to.
you just feel like he's got a cake in the oven. He's got a meeting.
You know, I always think it's funny. It's like, like truly some of the truly like important people that you run into. They don't act like that.
No, they don't. They
Mm-mm.
realize that time is a commodity and they'll respect yours.
Well, I'm just
Do you
like,
know who I am? Madam, it's not a question of what I know. You see, what it is, it's a question of what I give a shit about. And
Yes.
you ain't it.
If my father's the police chief, that's fuck.
Okay,
You know the
and
fuck he's not.
no, my thing is, you turn
Uh,
around and tell me your kids are in the car. You just told me you committed a felony, and I should be calling the police.
Facts.
My parents used to leave us in the car all the damn time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's illegal
not
I
a-
mean,
now.
yeah, back in the day.
Still depends on the state.
Yeah, it does.
yes.
But still, you left your kids in the car? That's terrible. What kind of a person are you?
Back in the day, nobody would have batted an eye at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
it's like the whole thing. If like,
I was of that generation.
well, it's like the whole thing
Yeah,
as
me
well,
too.
is because it's usually the kids are young. So like, if it were a couple of teenagers, leave them in the car, they're not even going to mention that they have kids in the car,
Right.
or like even a couple
And you
of
got teens in the
preteens.
car.
Yeah, it's like if you if you basically got anyone over 5, they're not going to ask, or they're not going to pull that because the kid can, watch himself for 10, 20 minutes, unless they
See, the
have like
fun-
special needs.
The psychology and the strategy is you maintain that calm, conversational kind of a tone, and they're going to flip out. So when they're the one flipping out, you get to go, "Hey, I was just talking to the lady."
I mean, like you said, Mitch. And if you're on the other side of that and you need somebody to to do something that for you, the more you're respectful of their time and everything, the more likely you're going to get what you want, or at least some kind of compromise of what you need.
Yes.
And oh yeah, clown. There's always the people that will come there trying to get a bunch of shit sold or signs so they can sell it online because they're pieces of shit.
Yeah, and that's why celebrities charge you an arm and a leg for a signature these days. Because you go up to Stallone, he's going to charge you $400 for an autograph. It's someone. I mean, someone. I don't mean Stallone. I mean someone of that
Caliber.
level of celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, most
They're
time,
charging like $400 an autograph, and I'm just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I like I said, $5. Yeah, I might get the hand cramp. So what?
I do got to say about Dan Bongino, he's one of those that it's not just a handshake. It's the handshake, which is like the grip of death, and he pulls you in, and then he does the back pounding.
oh, it's like if
Oh,
if
God.
I
I
ran
heard
into
he's a
really
really
any
nice dude in real
celebrities,
life.
I would just freaking, it's like probably go for like the picture taken with them, because then you really can't sell that.
My old business partner Arthur, he and his wife went and do a book signing and met Bruce Campbell.
Nice.
Nice.
And Bruce Campbell's smart. Whatever you think of him as a person, the dude's smart
Oh yeah.
because it wasn't just a book signing. They got the autograph and then did a picture, right? And he
I
knows
like the
he's
fact
got a
that he
line of
played
people,
multiple
he's got a
characters in
crowd, so
Spider-Man.
he pulls them in and says, "All right, now we're going to stand here like we've known each other for a long time. Look at the camera, smile, and click." And and the way he presents himself to his fans amuses his fans.
Hmm.
So they smile and they get the picture taken and off they go. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they do it quickly because he's saying, all right, we got a lot of people. We got to get a move on. Let's pretend like we know each other, smile big, and there you go.
See, the only thing I would try to get out of him as well isn't even like an autograph or any of that. I know most people want to hear him say groovy. I'd want him to use one of his lines from Burn Notice.
Bunch of bitchy little girls.
That's a good one. My personal favorite is the name's Finley. Chuck Finley.
Yeah.
Or Charles Finley. And that one, those ones are my favorite.
That's the thing, man. That man knows how to deliver a line. He knows how to handle his audience.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. He insults them regularly, but they fucking eat it up. The man's a genius. He probably has no stress because he's telling these assholes what he really thinks of them. And he's getting away with it. It's because he's so damn charming.
Yes.
And, he's built a persona on it, and it's brilliant.
See, I have never met an author, but for my birthday, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, an old roommate of ours took me to the Hollywood show for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I met, and nobody's gonna know who this is. I met Dennis Christopher. He played Eddie Kazbrak in It miniseries.
In what?
The miniseries It.
Oh, okay.
As I said, that name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he
I'm not
played,
gonna lie, it doesn't.
he played adult
Not me.
Eddie Kazbrak, who was my absolute favorite character.
Hmm.
And he was so nice.
Was he the one that had the? Was he the one that was the head?
What?
You said he was the character in It.
In the original miniseries.
Yeah, he was
In
the.
the
Was he the guy's head in the refrigerator?
No, that was Stan.
Okay.
The actor's name was Richard Manster.
I was like, did somebody just facepalm?
But no, that's Rotten playing with this guy.
Try fire
Oh, I
practice.
thought somebody facepalmed for a second.
Now I'm trying to think
But-
go ahead.
Yeah, I met Eddie Kazbrak from It, and he was the most down to earth, sweet man. Turns around and signs my autograph, and he's just like, "To Angela from Eddie Spaghetti."
Eddie Spaghetti.
That's what Richie always called Eddie.
So I'm trying to think. The only technically kind of celebrities that I've met that I can remember offhand is I did meet the Orange County Chopper guys once, like 18 years ago.
So I've met.
Oh no, the real funny
I've
thing is
met
because they were doing a show at the county fair, and like they even gave away a chopper. My folks, because my dad was really into the show, so I went with him that whole thing. So it was pretty cool. This was also, like a month or two after I crashed a dirt bike.
I'm
So
not laughing.
we
but
got
I am
to-
laughing.
Oh, it was because I was a dumbass. I ain't even denying that. But the funny thing was because we got the VIP thing, so we got to go and like do a Q&A and whatnot. You know, I asked the question like if they've been in a wreck, what like what was plausibly the worst one. And it's funny because seniors like I've been in my fair share of accidents. Junior's been in his own accidents. The blonde crazy guy who typically rides like the scooter, he's just an accident. And like my hand was still kind of casted up and whatnot. So when I went there, luckily I didn't have to have the major fucking brace around my knee. And that we got to meet him. And my dad asked kind of a business related one that wasn't, just curious if they'd ever done it. So when we go through to get the picture and everything, Senior goes to shake the hand and just sees my hand kind of at my chest all wrapped. He goes, "You were the crash question." And I was just like, "Yeah." He's like, "Obviously, see," I can't remember if it was him or Junior that said that. And I was like, "Yep, definitely can't shake your hand." I'm like, "Not without me probably swinging at you," is what I was thinking.
The only like national like well-known celebrity I've met. I've met a lot of local ones, but the only national level one I've met was Barry Switzer.
Who?
Okay. Dallas Cowboys head coach, Sooners head coach.
I don't watch the sports ball.
Yeah.
And see, like
Neither do I.
my dad has met a metric
Cat's doing the zoomies.
fuck ton of celebrities and whatnot. Like because of the whole lifting thing while he was in the court before, well, he was doing it before he was in the court, but then because of lifting while he was still in the court, like from my understanding is like he met a bunch of the guys that did the Mr. Olympia thing. So he met Arnold Schwarzenegger, he met Lou Ferrigno, because of some of the family we have in certain parts and whatnot. My dad got to have dinner with Conway Twitty.
No, right on.
You met Kanye
Like,
Twitty, really?
He met Kanye Twitty. I'm listening. I was like, where the fuck were these stories when I was younger? You never told these stories when I was younger. And he's just like, I don't know. I'm like, it makes sense.
Like I said once before,
Like,
our parents
He's
seem
also
to have a lot more fun.
He also pulled security, and if I remember correctly, he met Mick Jagger. And the first time he met him, he accidentally put him on his ass. Because he turned the corner and walked into my dad, and my dad didn't move. Mick Jagger did. Backwards.
Wow. I've met Biz Marquis. I've met Cal Ripken Jr. I've met Genuine. I've met Richard Picardo. I've met Terrell Suggs. I met.
Well, it's like, I can understand why I haven't met a lot of people in that whole thing when it comes to that type of stuff, because I don't really go out to a lot of those things. Like, I've met some smaller bands because of being at local
Same. I've
venues.
never met anybody.
I've met a lot of World War II veterans. Man, because I have to work sometimes. Ages ago, I had to work certain flights that had World War II veterans, like charter flights when they were going like to visit war memorials, or they were having some sort of celebration or some sort of remembrance. So I've met a lot of them. Like, these guys, man. I have yet to meet any of the code talkers, but God damn, these.
I do have a different story for a POW. When I was still in Cannon and going through ALS, so Airman Leadership School, ours was during the getting close to the holidays. But they invite, because he's a local, him and his wife, he's a POW from the Korean War.
Ooh.
Like straight up survivor and everything. Super sweet, man. His wife was so nice and everything. So not only do we get to have a meal with them, since it was more of a potluck thing, like they weren't required to bring anything unless they wanted something different to drink. Like, all of the students were the ones who cooked. So I can say I got the honor of not only getting to meet and talk with
but serving
but also cook for them. Well, I mean, we did most of that to be more self-serve and whatnot. The only thing I got irritated by was, like, I was going to make scalloped potatoes and ham. It was like, oh, we got someone else doing ham, and then they never fucking brought the ham. And the only thing anyone complained about mine was, well, you had the temperature too high. It wasn't hot spice-wise. It was just hot temperature-wise. I'm like, yeah, I should have put it down warm. Because I had it in a crock pot.
That sounds like a personal complaint.
Yeah.
Let it cool a minute.
Oh no, that's what they said. They're like, no, we were glad it was fresh and everything, because it was another one of those things where I was like, oh, because of one of like the parties I went to and that I had cooked some food for before, that I was like, okay, I have leftovers in that. And the next one it went to, because a couple other people had tried it after that, and everything. It was like, oh, cool. I should still have some food for later on. Like I can have dinner or like lunch tomorrow. And they had damn near picked it clean. I'm like,
Whoa.
good God. Like, okay. Apparently I done right. Thank you for the
Nice.
recipe, Mom.
I met Jim
I get to
James Hetfield at a Denny's.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah,
Who's James Hetfield?
lead singer of Metallica.
Mm.
He was in there with Bob Rock,
Hmm.
the producer of the Metallica Black Album, and they were just wrapping up production. It was at the time. I'm not saying they came from the studio. I'm saying it was at the time they were wrapping up production on that album.
Yes, I know a couple of my friends, like one of them while he was in Japan, well, one of the guys I used to work with, he met Wee Man at like 3 a.m. in Japan. Or it was like 2 like,
Under a table. Sorry.
no, he was damn near shit faced and whatnot. And basically Wee Man signed his shirt. He's like, from Wee Man, buy a better fucking shirt. My other buddy, who's I actually consider a really good buddy, who's still in the service, he met Carlos Mencia after all the shit that happened of like him being found out being a
the
joke
joke
stealer
stealing.
at like 3 a.m. in the fucking Clovis, New Mexico IHOP.
Mm.
It got a picture and everything.
Janitor, huh?
No,
I got it.
And that whole thing. Like I met one comedian, I can't remember what the fuck his name was. He's a pretty cool dude.
On mine, it was, I was at work, and some of these guys, they don't put their names down on work orders. They have like he put his head housekeeper down.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea who it is. So I show up there and I'm looking around the house. It's like, man, this guy's really into football. And he has a Speed Queen washer dryer, and his dryer was squealing. And so I'd get down there, and all you gotta do is change out that idler, and I did that real fast. And then I hear him walk in, and he just says, "Did you get it working?" I recognize that fucking voice. Jesus Christ.
James Earl
Who was
Jones.
it?
say,
Who was it?
It was going back to Barry Switzer, the greatest Sooners coach.
Rotten will get a couple of these due to family employment and connections. I've met most of the Van Andels and DeVosses.
Nice. I
okay.
actually had a classmate who went on to work for some of them. I want to say it was.
Yeah, my dad worked for the company basically his entire adult life.
Well,
He got to drive the Maserati.
I know he worked at the Van
got
Andel
to-
Arena for them and whatnot, and predominantly was doing stuff for the Grand Rapids hockey team. And then several years ago, he passed because boy was overweight and did not watch what he did when he got or his food intake when he got out of football or when he graduated high school. Like a lot of them.
I thought you were going to say when you didn't watch what he did when he got out on the ice.
No, he was someone who was super big into sports, but the only thing he really ever played was football.
Say one of the guys that I worked with at FedEx delivered to Bo Schembechler. I got to tour the USS Yorktown with one of the men that served on it.
Nice.
Nice.
So a few brushes.
Yeah, I know. Well, my first tour in Afghanistan, I had a chance to go see Toby Keith play for free and plausibly meet him, and I was just like, you gonna go? And I'm like, no. They're like, why? I'm like, because that's in the middle of my 12 hours off. I plan on being asleep. Like, I'm not gonna miss sleep to go see Toby Keith. Like, I don't hate his songs, or it's like most of his music. I just.
It's just not worth it.
I'm not gonna lose sleep over that man. Like, I don't like him enough to lose
Literally.
sleep over it.
Literally.
Fair.
I also missed the opportunity. Well, I didn't go because I don't remember what the fuck I was doing. I was like, I think I was just like, I'm gonna get drunk at home because they at Clovis or at Canon did I think it was Motorhead put on a concert in one of the hangars. They got him for that. And I missed a couple of the events in Okinawa just because I didn't know about them. Or no, I know what with one of them it happened before I was there. The others I just like either didn't have the time off or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Because the USO stuff's actually pretty cool. Hell, and then I still have the story of where I felt like, because of when I went to Okinawa, where I felt like a dirty old man.
Elaborate.
So, go to, I think it was Seattle, where we're waiting to go through all that. End up, because this flight got delayed and whatnot. So, me and this one gal, this really cute redhead, grab an Uber to go to the one frickin' thing we're at and everything. And I still to this day do regret not getting her number. But when I'm talking to her, because she's in the Corps and she's going to her first duty station, and I'd been in for like almost a decade and was 32 at the time. We were just bullshitting and everything. So I'm like, fuck waiting on the thing. I'll just grab an Uber. You can pay it back or whatever. I don't care. So I ended up, going through everything. It's like, asking, this is their first duty station. Everything. It's like, well, just out of curiosity, like, how old are you? And she's like, oh, I'm 18. I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm 32. It's legal. God damn, it feels weird. And I got it's one of the few times I actually noticed getting like the I'm into you eyes later on. And I was like, man, I really wish I'd have gotten her number or a way
I
to
mean, like when you
contact her.
realize it 5 years later.
No, I actually realized it on the plane. And there just wasn't anything I could do at the time, and I'm too fucking stupid to go and ask.
Been
Because
there.
I still
Still
wake up.
there.
I still wake up some nights, and I realize an interaction I had with a girl in high school, for fuck's sake. And I'm like, holy shit, she was totally into me.
It always
God
happens like that,
damn.
doesn't it?
It does.
Like 10 years later, you figure out that the people are actually into you and you didn't notice.
You just have that whole thing, and you just like you're around. You're either by yourself or you're just like around all your friends and family, and out of nowhere, like you throw something and scream, "Son of a bitch, she was into me!" And you're everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I've
And you
done
bring
that
up
myself too.
you bring the thing up, and like,
Yeah.
you didn't realize that, and you're like, I didn't realize that. No, I didn't realize that.
See,
I
see,
am
you know
not
what
good
I
at
wish?
picking up on cues like that.
Then
You
you
know what
want to
I
go
wish?
beat the hell
I
out
wish
of a
the
fucker
coyness
who
wasn't
knew.
there. I really hate the coyness and the expectation. Like, if we just came out and said what we fucking think, like, yeah, I'm into you. Okay, sweet. Like, we're idiots. Many are idiots.
I had a
We are.
It's some men,
I
it's
am.
not all again, but it's still
Enough
one of
of
those
this.
things that I wish I'd have gotten a chance to bullshit with her and like hang out a bit more to see where it gone. Because who knows, maybe I'd been hitched. It's still been
You know-
fucking weird dating someone I'm 14 years older than, but it's not as bad as it could be because it is still legal.
Right.
It's still weird, but yeah,
you're
I
still gonna
definitely
get the occasional
yeah.
side eye.
What the worst is not realizing it, but you're sitting there at your 20th high school reunion, and she walks up and she asks you why you didn't respond to her.
Oh, I don't go to reunions. I
And
don't
I'm
do
like,
that.
Neither do I.
No, I'm not putting myself through that kind of shit.
I don't have any to go to.
Realize that shit 50 years later, and oh fuck, God no. Why do that to yourself?
they had an open bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nobody in my school was that into me. I can
Open bar at the
guarantee
Elks
that.
Club.
And it's an open. Yeah, they had an open bar. It's still cheaper for me to drink at home.
I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there. I'm just sitting there talking to two of my friends from back then, and guys, she was half Japanese.
Mm.
I hurt myself.
Yeah.
I just brought it back up. And I'm like, oh, damn it.
You know, the brilliant thing is that that's not realizing it at the time is part of what put me in the position I'm in now, where I have no interest in romance or even sex because there's too much shit to deal with. At least
That's
now
fair.
I can convince myself that I know all about women. And I will say I don't know all about women, but I'll say I know enough about women, but it only applies to women that I'm not going to have a romantic interest in. Like, for
That's fair.
example, I understand certain things about dating, but it's information I'm never going to use.
Yeah. Oh, that was always the fun thing is like, you know, you tell your friends, you're like, yeah, man, like, I was one of the ones that like, yeah, she's definitely giving you eyes and whatnot and that. And like, wouldn't be till the next day and everything. They're like, why didn't you do anything? Like, why didn't you fucking say something then, asshole?
Yeah.
Although my absolute favorite one of anything, was this one black girl we have, which is the whitest black girl I've ever met, but her and I had a rough start at first, but like we got along, and she is a fucking sweetheart in all reality, super cool and everything. But she goes and she's like, she's like, you know, says my name. She's like, did you fuck that bitch last night? I was like, did you fuck that girl last night? I was like, no. She goes, oh, thank God, that bitch is crazy.
No, God.
I was like, okay, if she's saying that, I'll definitely definitely take it, because she was more of the social butterfly and talking with her friends and everything. She's like, yeah.
Well, shit. I would have probably just like, well, now I'm attracted. Thanks. I'm gonna go ruin my life, guys.
No, I'm gonna ruin my life because you did point out a crazy bitch.
Sounds like my buddy Dustin that I was talking about last time I was on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he points out a crazy chick to him, he's suddenly like a magnet right to them.
Because some guys, me being
technically-
one particular, sexually attracted to crazy.
Technically, brother, you married the girl across the street from childhood, but
I'm just like a bull. I run towards the red flags.
Oh, yeah. So look, the other half of the
Like the opposite of
scenario,
bull.
the other half of the scenario of my having no interest in romance or sex anymore is that I've realized that I make very bad decisions when it comes to women. Just absolutely horrible ones.
Oh, we all.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Well, a lot of us do, but you know, some people are better at it than others. I happen to be very bad at it. They're always manipulative, money grubbing whores, for one thing. And you know, I just grew up to the point I don't have time for that shit anymore. And I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm saying I'm taking the responsibility on myself. This is a failing on my part because I don't see the signs early enough. In anyone else that I'm not interested in, I see the signs.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up.
It's what we
but
call
as soon as
rose-colored
you
glasses.
like somebody,
Yeah, all the signs no longer matter. You know, it's like the points on fucking Whose Line Is It Anyway?
That's why, like
Yeah.
okay.
like I've had for a
Logic
couple of
goes
my
out the
friends and
window and
whatnot.
start-
Like I've said, it's
you
like,
know.
oh, if it comes to that whole thing for a girl, I'm partly, it's like, might be interested in whatnot. I'm what's known as romantically retarded.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I-
we all
I-
are.
there's a. I told the story about.
One
I told
second.
the story about my.
Tragic, one second. Angela, were you trying to say something?
Well, I was going to tell my
Oh,
story.
sorry. Go ahead.
I turned around and had a thing for this guy all through high school. Like, technically, I met him when he was in 6th grade and I was in 7th grade in our high school. And we were really close friends. I was totally into him all through high school. And had no idea that he was into me. I turn around and tell him finally, he comes over when, like, maybe a month after I got engaged.
Oof.
And I tell him I'm getting married. and that I'm pregnant.
And he was probably devastated.
And he
Probably,
was
yeah.
just like, I'm in love with you.
Mm,
And I'm just like,
Poor guy.
why?
You couldn't have said
couldn't
something a
you
year ago,
say
damn it.
something?
Well,
Why
guys don't
didn't
say
you
anything
say
because so many women treat them like they're psychos just for saying hello.
Yeah, we've gotten gun shy.
No, we've gotten
Like, oh,
rational.
shoot your shot, but when you do shoot your shot, it's like, oh, you're treated as a creepy guy.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Scott, I self-sabotage when it comes to romance, and I'm just not putting myself through it anymore. Fuck it.
Oh,
It ain't worth
I
it.
don't. You can't self-sabotage if you don't go out.
no.
Right. If you don't try, you can't fail.
But if you don't try, you don't know what could have been.
But Tragic, you were trying to
regret.
say something?
Okay, you know, I told the story about me dating the burglar.
On one of the streams. Might have been on
I dated a woman who before in okay and a little afterwards who did time for burglary.
Oh, okay. I thought she burgled your house and you found her and dated her.
That'd be weird.
I do gotta say, she always gave me the nicest shit.
Turns out it was your shit that she stole.
Never came in a box, but by God, it was nice.
This is an awful nice iPad. Thanks.
I thought you when I stole it. I mean, found it.
But in the person who, but she managed to find the one person who could not figure out a red flag for his life, and she's dating him now. She is dating a cop.
Oh fuck!
She is dating the cop.
Sergeant or Master Sergeant?
No, she. Well, I don't know. Just
Wait,
random
like she's
cop. She's dating the cop that arrested her.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean,
That's-
if she
wow.
stopped stealing, then it would be that whole thing of like he could fix her or he fixed her.
This sounds like the beginning of a porno.
Just-
It really does.
Or the sound.
This sounds like you need to tell her not to go on any cruises.
What I have to say is, this is the first time I'm honestly like, no, Janet, not her real name, Janet, you're not the red flag at this situation.
The cop is the red flag.
Yeah, this sounds like some weird ass romantic comedy.
Apparently, I'm the only Poseidon Adventure fan.
She was a thief. He was a cop. Well, they found love together.
Hold on. This is almost potentially the reverse of Raising Arizona.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is the reverse.
He was a boy. She was a girl. Was.
Key sentence in that phrase was.
Sounds like
Yes,
the opposite of a Hallmark
was.
movie.
Sounds like a movie featuring Ellen Page.
Oof.
Oof.
He was
Ouch.
a girl. Well, anyway.
Elliot was a girl. Now he has a fake weenus.
I want to see a true crime thing to
Weenus, if
find
you
out who
will.
killed Ellen Page,
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
because they call it dead naming, don't they?
Yeah, that is
So
true.
that presupposes that a murder took place in my head. So I want to know who murdered Ellen Page and who's cashing her paychecks.
Well,
for
we got
ridiculous.
like a 49% chance we'll figure out who killed Ellen Page.
It turns out it was.
Thought it was
Ellen Page who
41%.
killed it all along.
41%.
We should start.
I
an
never
internet
trusted
rumor
that
Ellen
Ellen
Page has been
Page.
murdered.
I'll be back in a moment.
Ellen Page was the Bay Harbor Butcher the whole time.
I never really trusted
can't
that
believe it.
Elliot Page. He was he just looked a little shifty. Come find out, he was a murderer.
Oh,
A serial killer at that.
and
He
also,
killed full of frosted flakes.
Also,
Find
find out.
out he was a murderer.
He was a murderly earther.
Um,
Damn it,
A murder
Flanders.
war.
wild here, you pull out one where I just like, where's the damn horsewhip?
Really?
Will made me think of Will made me come up with a terrible joke.
What will they think of next?
I got a terrible joke. Will inspired me.
Oh God.
Yeah, Green
Yeah.
Badger is what I'm talking about.
You know the Chris Car and Christine. You know it's not a Ford because it would have been a murder.
It was built for tough.
Found on road dead.
You're gonna
Hey,
drive
man,
it.
I used to
you're gonna
work at
drive
a Ford
Chevy.
dealership. I've mentioned it before, I think. Worked in a Ford dealership, and Ford had a campaign that they would throw out to the service department, the technicians, the mechanics. But they weren't mechanics, they were parts swappers, so they were technicians.
Mhm.
Mechanics actually repair things. Anyway,
Oh shit! And Badger, that
They,
fucking sucks, bro.
they sent out this it's like an interoffice marketing campaign, basically.
Mhm.
And their pitch was fix it right the first time. And interestingly, at the time they did this, Ford also had an enormous number of very expensive recalls.
Of course they
And
did.
I couldn't help myself. I'm like, hey, how about build it right the first time?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to remind technicians, mechanics, whatever,
They didn't
to
have
fix
to
it
remind.
the first time. That should be the goal.
Understand this was part of a marketing campaign, not just to convince the mechanics to fix shit right the first time. It was also kind of geared to have fix it right the first time on posters and shit inside the dealerships for the customers to see, so that
Yeah.
the customers who were coming in for the recalls could possibly get convinced that it wasn't recall related and wind up paying for a repair themselves. Not on my watch, motherfucker. Every vehicle that came through me, I punched in the VIN. I found out if there were any recalls.
That's
I
called integrity.
I do that when I work on appliances. If it is possible, I will find if there's any.
Yep.
I've came across a few of them that had recalls on them. I just tell the customers like, hey, I give them the information. It's like, just call this number.
If
Yep.
you're gonna drive a Chevy, you're gonna need a Ford to tow.
I've had all of them. They're all equally awful.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Built Ford tow.
I still think it's really funny the fact
By
that like,
Toka.
while a lot of people like to talk shit about Jeep, they've actually gotten better ever since they were bought out by Fiat. Well, I shouldn't say
You
bought
know-
out by Fiat. Chrysler sold Jeep to Fiat.
do you know how bad you have to start off, Beeb, that the Italians make you more reliable?
No kidding.
Or the Japanese.
No, the
Well,
Japanese I've always built reliable stuff.
Hold on. We're not gonna knock on the Italians that much for that. They are really good at taking other people's designs and improving them a little bit, but making them looking way fucking better. Except for
Oh, what
shotguns.
have you got?
Except for shotguns on that one. They basically took the whole thing. We're like, yeah, we're basically gonna make the best combat semi-auto shotgun, and no one's been able to do better since.
I agree with you in the cars because the Fiat, the Alfa Romero they have out now is like the absolute worst car. But I want one because it's so fucking gorgeous.
Found in a trench.
Let
I'm gonna.
me tell you something about the Japanese and Ford Motor Company. The Ford Escort engine power plant is a Japanese design.
Hmm.
And it will fucking last forever. it is extremely reliable, the Ford Escort.
Mm-hmm.
So years later, when Ford introduced the Ford Focus, they just used the same power plant and put a different body on it.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes.
Mhm.
And those are pretty good cars.
And then to get rid
Yeah,
of
Extremely reliable.
all the other ones and whatnot that were easily fixable and were reliable, they did the government did the whole cash for clunkers and straight up fucked up a metric fuck ton of good vehicles.
Yep.
And
Deliberately destroyed an entire section of the auto market.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you
Mhm.
something else about the Ford Focus. It was a marketing backfire. Ford marketed the Focus to the younger generation, the hip and cool generation. You know who was buying it? The old farts. And I'll tell you exactly why.
It was reliable.
No. Well, that played a role, but no one knew that at the time. I did because I knew it was under the hood. You know, the people who knew that it was a Ford Escort power plant knew it would be reliable. That was a given. But the regular car owner who brings a car in for an oil change because they can't do it themselves, no, they don't know what they're looking at. But the older people were buying them, and when I say old, I'm talking past retirement age. They were scooping them up,
Right.
and the reason they were scooping them up is because they were easy to get into and out of.
That rate's
and they
kind of
were.
important to me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It was so easy. It was almost like just sitting down in a chair. It was that easy. Whereas with the Escort or even the Taurus, you gotta duck first before you get in.
Mhm.
You gotta squat, then lift one leg in, and it's kind of a chore. But with a Focus, you just slide right in like nothing. It was gorgeous.
yeah, when it comes to, say, of the few things more important to me than being easy to get into and out of is the comfort when I'm sitting there.
Yes.
Can't have my head hitting on anything, can't have my knees hitting the dashboard, that kind of thing. But yeah, I kind of rate ease of entry and
As a
exit
tall
as
guy, I get that.
I love because I check out different vehicles when I was shopping for them. Got my it's funny because I got a Toyota Matrix and it's like a small car, but my knees don't hit the dash and my head doesn't hit the roof. I got
Exactly.
into vehicles that were twice as big as like I'm
there's just not that
hunched
kind of
down and my
living
head
up.
is my head is pressed against the roof and my knees are pressed against the dashboard. You know, the last time I let my knees get pressed against the dashboard in a vehicle, they got pressed by the dashboard through my pelvic socket. I mean, not repeat that.
Right.
The Toyota Matrix was a very underrated car.
It's a beautiful car for that. I'm gonna hate to replace it.
I tell you what, I bet soon they're gonna be back with bench seats again. If they aren't already.
I
Wouldn't
hope
surprise
so.
me. It depends on basically it's
Mr.
being.
Scott- Oh, sorry.
I say it depends on like what the thing's supposed to be.
Probably, yeah.
The my car.
Hold on, Angela, you were saying?
I was just gonna tell Mr. Scott that the '90s Taurus was actually a really beautiful car. I don't know what Toyota has done, or no, the Ford Taurus people have done to destroy those cars, but they are nowhere near as nice as they used.
Oh yeah.
Rotten over there still just wants this Toyota Hilux.
Mm-hmm.
So do I.
Everybody wants the Toyota Hilux.
I mean, if they'd let
And
me,
yes, I know about the chicken thing.
if they would let me go through and change it, it's like if I won the money for, or it's like won the lotto, where I could do it. I actually wouldn't mind keeping. It's like taking my FJ and having the fucking three. It's like we're having all of the drivetrain, or not drivetrain, but engine and gas tank and all that replaced, so I can use the 3-cylinder diesel engine that they've built for these. Takes up
That's one thing. If I won the
all the
lottery,
same space
I
as
would
the
take and
360.
restore my Matrix so that I could put like another, 15, 25 years on it.
I'll tell you what. I'm waiting for someone to do this because it's going to be fucking brilliant and it's going to change the visual landscape of automobiles if someone does it.
Turn
Modern
to monkey.
technology in vehicle sizes, but with the 50s vehicle body aesthetic.
Oh, a lot of us have
Yes.
brought that up to like bring it's like even just if companies were to do that with like some of their sports cars, do limited runs without doing like when Dodge like we're bringing the Challenger back. They did the 4-door Challenger. It's like, no, dude, all you had to do is take your modern vehicle, make it look like the old one. And part of the reason why they don't want to do that is because apparently some of the other lines or whatnot, they don't really work as well for radar. It's like you're a car company, and if the cops are bitching at you, fuck them. It doesn't catch radar as well. That's not
Too
your
bad.
fucking problem.
Oh well.
I would have used that as an advertising line,
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a marketing
Exactly.
tool is what that is.
especially if I
It's-
got a fast car.
As an auto manufacturer, it's not your job to ensure that speed traps work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's one of those things like they would make money hand over fist. They don't have to make thousands, millions of them a year. They only
No,
gotta
and you
make
don't
a
have to
few
make
thousand.
a fucking boat out of an Escort either. Just make the Escort body reminiscent of that 50s style.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and like Badger said as well, because of everything, a lot of people would still like. I'd only want to use it for my for land. It's like if I had the property and everything for it, I'd still like an actual Army Hummer, even though I know they're pieces of shit for the most part. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
the Escalade and the H2 or the Hummer H2 are the same thing as like that or the fucking. There's a few other ones.
Well,
that
yeah, the
don't-
whole Mercury line is just a redress of Ford.
Yeah,
vehicles.
so's Lexus of Toyota.
Yeah.
They're all redresses.
So
of each other.
is Acura of Honda, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Because Acura was the one who sold the Integra, but it's actually a Honda vehicle. But because of the whole thing for some of the weird shit, like, I mean, hell, Toyota's one of the other ones that's had a whole bunch that are all the same. Like, Scion and Lexus are just fancier Toyotas.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're Toyotas with glitter.
I'll tell you one thing, my car for over 40 years old, when I get done onto the turnpike, and I get up to 75, 80, which takes forever, it's a diesel. That's a that ride is still smooth as glass.
See, my last diesel was a diesel pusher, and it did not take long to get to highway speeds. You could pull 80 to 100 by the end of a short ramp.
This thing is still, it's pretty slow. Its official rating is 0 to 60 in 12 seconds. So
Yeah, that was a Sprinter, which is a cargo van built for the Autobahn, and it performs like it's built for the Autobahn.
Oh, damn. If if Chevy is doing that with the Bel Air, bringing a newer thing and having it look like the traditional old Bel Air,
Ooh.
Oh my god.
I
like-
wouldn't mind one of those.
All right, y'all talk about cars, and I have no interest in this.
Okay,
My
you might actually
dream
get a kick
car.
out of this one. I will
Oh, yeah,
share it with you
I'm not
guys.
all that interested in cars either, but my God, someone's got to be smart and do something that makes the industry money.
If this is what I think it is, it's
if I
supposed to be
could
this one.
get something that looked like a 57
Oh, that is
Chevy
pretty.
Bel Air, I would freaking
Yep.
learn how to drive.
Oh, that is very pretty.
If they do that, hell yeah, that'd be nice.
well,
There we go.
there's
Course
my
not.
next bad
Oh, yeah.
factional decision.
Okay, what are you looking at?
The
Oh,
string.
Rotten popped
Right.
up Discord.
In
so we can
Discord.
see it. Yeah, see, but that's nearly identical. I'm not even talking about identical, but
Yeah. Well, that's
just
like when
reminiscent. And it would be so freaking awesome.
well, it's like you kind of have that slightly with like the new Bronco from Ford, but like everyone's like, no, man, we want the old Bronco, like not the Bronco 2, the original Bronco. You make it look like that with the newer shit, and you're gonna fucking sell them.
Won't be able to keep them on the lot if they did that.
That's what Jaguar could have done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the radar reflective paint. Yeah. Green Badger,
Uh,
that's a thing.
Yeah, then if they got caught, they were probably getting fucking busted down in rank because I'm pretty sure that would be theft.
Yeah.
Or technically fraud, waste, and abuse.
But yeah, you know, make
Oh,
a
yeah, the old-
classic line of cars, and I bet you anything. See what they're doing now is they're trying too hard to make the car look high tech.
Mhm.
Stop that. That's not what sells a car. A car's got to look nice. It's got to look classy. But inside and under the hood, that's where all the good tech is.
Mhm.
That's where you can do all the fancy shit.
Quite
Let the
literally.
car look like a fucking, like a Batman the animated series
So,
and Superman the animated series.
One
Some of those
second.
designs, they were older designs, but they were modern cars.
Mitch,
for fuck's
Mitch,
sake.
hold on just a second.
Yeah.
So basically, as we kind of discussed for when it goes for like movies and TV shows, when it comes to how the car looks, the rule of cool is still in play and should be followed.
Yes. But it should actually look cool.
Yeah, that's why I
The
said it's like,
Cybertruck doesn't look cool.
no, the Cybertruck just looks like fucking PS1 graphics.
Yes.
It-
It looks
I-
cool.
Yeah.
the best thing I ever heard for that one is it kind of looks like you're looking at a Pontiac Aztec on PS1 graphics but backwards.
I hated
Here's
man.
the thing. Part of me really likes the low poly design. I get very nostalgic some of the old video game things.
Mhm.
But what I'd want to have with that is I'd want to have the thing painted like a super matte black and then have like a green wireframe at the edges.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Oh, go with like a Tron thing? Or am I thinking something else?
This the Cybertruck looks like something that fell out of a freaking dystopian future.
Yes.
I mean, it looks
It's-
like something that
Oh.
fell out of a 70s,
Sci-fi movie?
60s, 70s, 80s video game.
Yeah, dystopian future.
A dystopian sci-fi movie.
Here, I want to just throw this out here for discussion on the Cybertruck.
Okay.
And I had this thought the other day. The problem is the Cybertruck, in its styling and everything else, is everybody took it way too seriously.
Yes.
And if they came out with the idea of just advertise it as this is the vehicle that failed the render, and you did stuff like that, people would like it better because it was something different that you weren't taking very seriously. You didn't have to change anything about the car. It was
Right.
it was how it was marketed. If they marketed as something that I would have marketed as something, it failed the rendering is your job now, and made it where it was so easily customizable that every one of them would be different because you could make it different by just going out and buying a kit and doing what you want.
That would be an interesting way to do it too.
That would be nice.
And this is how if Travis had the chance to run a car company, I would sell a line of cars, like 3 of them. Sedan, hatchback, station wagon. But have them start off, they come off the line. These are the most basic cars you can have. But I would sell DIY kits. You could go back to the dealership, and if you want to upgrade something on it later on, you go to the dealership, you give them the VIN number, they pull a box off the shelf, it comes out, it has the parts you need, the tools, the instructions on video and everything else, where you can go in and you can make it however you want. I would make everything in there. The software in the computers and everything else would be open sourced. You can buy the repair manuals come with the car when you buy it. I would make $1 million on it because people would want to just be able to tinker with their cars again.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
people would actually care about their vehicle again.
Yes.
Check the side chat in the call.
Oh, that one.
Oh, Rotten. I put in general. I put Icon Motors, the Icon FJ. It's basically it is a modernized FJ.
And give me a second because I am going to be sharing something with you guys that I'm also then going to be putting on screen. So I was trying to figure out which one it was. So it's this one. We are
Oh,
going to
God.
see French police helping helping some climate activists unglue their hands.
Oh, we've seen that before.
Well,
Is
that's
this-
gonna hurt.
If it's going to be a painful thing, I can't watch that kind of shit. I
It's
can't
not-
watch torture.
It's not torture.
Okay.
And not like they don't deserve it.
So we'll turn this volume down a little bit because I don't know what the thing is. Don't glue your head in the fucking road.
He's acting.
Oh yeah.
34 takes, and this is what we got?
Surprised
Pretty
they didn't-
much.
Surprised they didn't hit him with the old Hail Hitler.
Oh, like what's his face in Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No, I was talking about that one fucking oh god, was it Patriot Front or whatever? The whole thing. That was a good, we gotta leave that in there. It's like, you bunch of fucking feds.
Favorite font was like that was almost insulting how little they tried to make that not.
That make
Yep.
that not glow.
Oh, that would be
Pa-
freaking
Patriot
sweet for an
front
FJ.
glows so brightly you can see it from space.
Oh, they're even gonna do a
Indeed.
pickup and a four-door. Oh man, I might be actually looking into a new Toyota. Oh,
You
this is
talking about
done by
that the Icon?
Yeah,
They're expensive, but god damn, they're
I would
nice.
definitely be interested in that. I don't
They have a Bronco too.
I don't hate the pickup, but good God, I like that fucking four-door, that FJ44.
And there's
It's
a
kind of
oh, go ahead, sorry.
I think people are buying cars too much based on utility and not enough on style. Style is an integral part.
Oh, these things look more like the old FJ, which was basically Toyota's version of the Jeep, and
Right.
I try to do a mixture of the whole thing of like it's like it is utility primarily for me, but it is also, do I like the way it looks?
Right. Exactly. I mean, utility is always going to be more important.
Mhm.
But
'Cause, like-
if it looks completely utilitarian, like the Cybertruck, because that doesn't. There's no artistry involved there.
Mhm.
The Cybertruck really is the dystopic future.
Well, that's what I was
It
gonna
is in no way pretty. I don't ever want to have to look at that.
Well, it's like if it wouldn't have been the thing for or for Japan of having their rules of to take a vehicle from there for it to be considered a classic, it had to be 25 years or older from when you left or from when you're leaving. Like if it had been 18 years, I should have been able to bring my my Toyota BB, so it'd basically be a Scion, their boxcar one, but a right-hand drive. I fucking love that vehicle.
You know what else? You know what a velomobile is?
No, not right offhand.
Something that looks like a snake.
No, a velomobile is basically like a bicycle, but it more than two wheels, usually. But it's got a body and storage compartments and whatnot. Lightweight.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still pedal driven. You can get with a proper body on it that's aerodynamic. You can easily get in excess of 40 miles per hour on a pedaled vehicle, on a self-powered vehicle. But where's all the environmentalists when it comes to that shit? Because if you live, say, Say you live 3 miles from work. If you can pedal at 40 miles per hour, you get your exercise in every day,
Mm-hmm.
just going to and from work. And it's an enclosed vehicle with some storage space, so you can probably stop, pick up a gallon of milk and go home. You know, where's all that shit? You know why we don't see it? You don't have to register them.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the state doesn't make as much money on that as it does an internal combustion engine.
Well,
You
hell,
know, the little K trucks have gotten really popular around here.
yeah, because they found out that, which it's like, oh, fucking shocker, that it's like, oh, the small pickups have always been popular and whatnot for a lot of people, and everything going to large because the old light pickups are now the size the fucking what the old full size were. They're not popular.
Right.
Because they weren't using as a fuel efficient engine as they should have or whatnot, because the EPA is a fucking bunch of jackasses. And they're like, for you to have a vehicle that has that bad of fuel emissions, it has to be this big or bigger for that thing. It's like, so like car companies like, we'll just make them bigger. And you're always going to have people that are going to buy bigger vehicles for no fucking reason.
There's the other thing too. There's the rise of the sport utility vehicle. And I don't give two fucks about the fuel efficiency and all that shit, because I think they're full of crap when it comes to running out of resources. No, we're not. We just maybe we need to be a little bit smarter about how we use them, sure. But we're not running out. So dismiss that lie right away. What I do like to complain about with them though is that the SUV, that's just a fucking station wagon.
Oh yeah.
Because most people who have the SUV, the giant SUV with a 4-wheel drive, they're not doing any off-road kind of stuff where that stuff's actually useful. They're driving the kids to school 3 blocks every day.
Oh, I mean, I've technically got an SUV because that's what my fucking FJ Cruiser is, but it's a smaller one in that whole thing. But I wanted
I'm sure you walk road more.
I actually I haven't done that in years, but I also live in an area that gets snow, and I've had to put my truck or my vehicle in 4-wheel drive just to fucking drive.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. That's a different thing.
No,
You know,
I've had the arguments with people in that whole thing, and I don't care if they buy it for that, because like I've always got the friends like, oh, they'll look at a vehicle or something, new vehicle coming out, especially for like a truck. So I'm like, oh, I won't buy it because it can't pull this much weight. And they're like, I've never seen you pull anything more than your fat ass wife is usually the joke, or something
Yeah.
like that. And it's like, and your fucking fat kids or some shit, or like you don't even have the thing to do. It's like, dude, if they want to buy that, that's their fucking business. Because if you want to go and say, oh, well, you're just saying you want that because you want to do that, I can bring right at freaking the folks who are like, well, I bought this vehicle because I needed the headroom. No, you fucking didn't. It's not a work vehicle. You're not in the vehicle for 12 hours a day. You're in it for 20 to 40 minutes at most. You can be uncomfortable for 20 to 40 minutes and drive defensively like a smart person.
Exactly. But it's still the SUV, even the minivan, those are just station wagons.
Yeah. Well,
that's all they are.
Minivans were originally
getters.
No, minivans were originally meant to be just like the truck was, cargo vehicles. They were meant to just be enclosed cargo vehicles.
Well, just light cargo vehicles.
Yeah.
Like that.
But they got really popular with like the old VW bus.
Yep.
So then, it goes into the whole thing as well. And that's why they're just like so stupid expensive, because they had to start putting all the seats in them and everything. Cause like they were being used. Yeah. Families would like them because it fit all the family and everything, got decent gas mileage and did everything they needed to do. And businesses that could get them without all the crap in the back that they didn't need could then use it for storing all their tools, or if they had to haul any light cargo, because they didn't need to worry about that.
Right.
I love working. I've worked out of pickups and vans, and the small vans are my favorite because I can still shove all of my tools in there. I can shove all of the parts and materials I need. I can get around in traffic real easily. and it's small enough that my I don't have to bend over to grab the monster out of the cup holder.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, by the
I
way-
loved my Sprinter.
Oh.
Not gonna lie, I loved my Sprinter. Long body, tall
And-
body.
1 second, Mr. Scott as well. That was also during the time frame of having leaded gas.
Yes.
So
But here's
vehicles
another
actually
fun
got
bit.
better gas mileage with leaded gas.
The Ford Windstar is the same power plant as the Ford Ranger.
Yeah, the current Ford Rangers are the fucking size of the old F-150s, and now to bring something
Well,
to
yeah,
have as
yeah, they're
the
probably not the same anymore.
yeah, the old, it's damn near the size. I think it's a little bigger than the old Ford Rangers. It's the Ford Maverick, and it's a fucking front wheel drive fucking truck, which is terrible in my opinion. Trucks are meant to be either 2-wheel drive with the fucking drive shaft in the rear, or fucking 4-wheel drive option. Oh, the hell, do you know the
Going back-
reason why they call them pickup trucks?
What was that?
And my dad told me the story a couple times. It's because back in the day when you would actually buy one, they didn't come with a bed on them.
Huh.
So you would go to decide whether you're going to get, which style of bed, or it's be like a flat bed, all the different ones and whatnot. So you would go pick up the bed. So it's like you go to pick up the bed of the truck. So it was the pickup truck.
They pick up truck.
You don't want to do that anymore. Insurance carriers don't like unfinished chassis.
Well, you were talking about the Sprinter. Never got to drive a Sprinter, but I got to tell you one thing: the Ford Transit is probably the fastest car on the road, especially later in the day. You get.
Say the Transit is kind of a wannabe Sprinter. I got the Sprinter up over 110 miles an hour. And it wasn't, it wasn't struggling at all. That
Yeah,
was before I had to slow down because I was to my turn off.
and
on
I
the
got my
drag strip.
Saturn Ion up to like 120.
Widget.
Yeah, the thing is, that wasn't anywhere close to maxing out.
I don't know if it was close to maxing out on that one. I getting to those speeds, I started getting uncomfortable and was like, I'm gonna slow down.
Yeah, we're not talking about. It wasn't. Aside from the runs down the drag strip, the times when I caught myself going over 80 and over 100 in the Sprinter, I didn't even realize. It was so smooth and so comfortable running at those speeds.
I really want us to go to the Sprinter, but we got one of the other guys in our company is just like, no, they cost too much to run and everything else. And like,
They are say you say that, but then you look at things they don't. Okay, among things you can get aside from all the comfort in driving it, there's a sensor package for the engine. If you don't get the sensor package, oil changes are every 10,000 miles. If you do get the sensor package, it's when the computer tells you, okay, the oil's degraded to the level that you need to change it, which, depending on the way you use it and where you're driving it, is between 13 and 20,000 miles.
I wonder how black that oil is by the time you change it at 20,000.
It's not though, because what it is there, it's not a just abusing and everything. The sensor package for the engine that is actually monitoring in real time the oil quality.
Okay.
And when it starts to basically break down, it's like, hey, you need to get this taken care of. It starts giving you this countdown of basically 1,000 miles. Oil changes due within the next 1,000 miles. And the thing is, the first oil change it saves you from getting, it's paid itself off. Like that, the sensor package costs less than one oil change.
Huh.
So I bought the extra sensor package for it and I paid it off. First oil change.
Yeah. At work we change our oil every 5,000 miles, and the new synthetic oils, that oil still looks
Yeah, this one, not only do you not need to change it like every 5,000 miles, you shouldn't change it every 5,000 miles. It's a 10,000 minimum. Now you're running it a full synthetic the whole time. It is a special. I mean, it's to have the dealership do the oil change is like $120. But that's what? That's $12 every 1,000 miles if you don't have the sensors. It might be $6 every 1,000 miles if you do. The Manumatic on that is just amazing drive. My big criticism, and it's a diesel pusher. It's got a ton of power. You can get going quick. It handles well.
There we go.
I don't think I've ever driven a vehicle that I liked more.
Groovy. Oh, damn it.
I will tell you the worst work vehicle I've ever had, though. I had worked for one company. I worked for them for 2 weeks and quit because fuck those guys. But he didn't go out and just like buy a fleet of vehicles. He just went to the car auction and just bought the cheapest things he could find. So we had like this motley crew of crappy vehicles, and they put me in a Kia Sorento.
The worst work vehicle I've ever had to use was basically a substitute loaner kind of thing. When my van was in the shop needing, my other van was in the shop needing a little extra work. It was going to take more than a day kind of thing. And it was basically a 15-passenger van converted back to cargo carry.
Oh, wow.
And we're dealing with, it was one of the worst full-sized vans that I've ever driven. The thing handled like a 3-legged cow.
Oh,
It couldn't push, it couldn't corner. Was not responsive. I spent the whole time feeling like the vehicle was fighting me and thinking, if I get a delivery on this one road where the road actually angles into the ditch around the corner, I'm gonna die.
Groovy.
I have seen all kinds of things that have been out on the roads. There was this place, it had like a 45 degree turn or more on the road. And instead of banking the curve so that the forces of the turn push you into the road, they banked the road the opposite way. They angled it in the direction of the ditch around the corner.
Oh God.
It was one road that I was like, I wouldn't go down in the winter. Like if I try to take that and there's any snow or ice on that, I'm going to go into the ditch. And I'm not going to go into the ditch because of the angle of the embankment for the banking of the road. I'm going to go into the ditch sideways.
Built Ford tough, huh?
That road was something else. And then
that's one way to put it.
there was the one road that I didn't refuse going down again, but you better believe that I was a lot more careful after the one experience, because they basically took and the road had a serious washout right where the road narrowed by half a lane. They filled the washout with sugar sand and skimmed a layer of gravel over top of it. So the first time there was a drizzle, it was washing out again.
Of course.
Yeah, my front tire hit the sand in the road and went sideways. I'm not talking about angled. My van went sideways.
Speaking of roads, I'm convinced, because there are certain like intersections that are death traps.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every city has them. I'm convinced that they're not fixed and redesigned and addressed because it generates money for the state.
Probably.
There we go. Hang on. Because if there's an accident,
they ticket you.
Paying for repairs is taxed. They ticket you, so that generates revenue. Even though it's a fault in the design of the roadway and it's provable, you still get the ticket.
Yeah, also,
and it's easier to pay the ticket than it is to fight the city, county, whatever.
And if you fight them, what you most likely get is not vindication and exoneration. It is at best usually
You get targeted.
Reduction. Well, at best you get a reduction in the fine.
Yeah,
because that's what I ended up in that situation. My van went sideways into a tree, and I got a ticket. And I'm going, and the people that lived right there is like, yeah, this is a bad spot in the road. They've never fixed it. It totals 6 to 20 cars a year right here. And basically, I got it knocked down from reckless driving to Michigan's catch-all violation of basic speed law, which is one you can't beat.
Yeah.
Because the violation of basic speed law in Michigan is this catch-all that no matter what happened, if something happens, it's the result of you traveling at an unsafe speed for the conditions.
Yeah,
you could be stopped in bumper-to-bumper traffic, have on a overpass, have it collapse underneath you. You were going the wrong speed for the conditions. You've broken you've violated the basic speed
vehicle
law
code. Yeah, it's a non-specific.
It's literally a catch-all. If anything happens, it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they've been doing here to fix intersections is they're doing this out in the county. They're putting in roundabouts.
Yeah, they put one of those where my folks live, and they've never never really had roundabouts in Michigan because they think it's gonna actually do better, but it causes more problems.
Kind of depends. They put one in by
stupid and don't know how to use them.
Yeah, they put one in by St. Mary's, and I've not seen an issue with that. They put one in.
They put one in. They put one in the town I grew up in, off what's technically considered a highway that semis still go down. So it's like, why in the ever living fuck would you put a roundabout on that? If you were going to do anything,
get one on
install
M37.
a light.
Get one on M37 north of Sparta. Go straight for Muskegon or go north for Grant. And those that I've seen have worked well once people get used to the way that it's driven.
It's funny. It's like they replace one intersection with the roundabout per municipality and think that, oh, okay, we did our thing.
Well, the county's expanding in that direction. But one of the things they didn't think of is on that particular road, there are several ranches.
Yeah.
Farther down there. And horse trailers don't really appreciate roundabouts.
Exactly.
And there is one rancher who has threatened to go full Heermeyer on those roundabouts because he does not like trying to get his horse trailers through them.
Well, see, again, that's just an indication that the roundabout wasn't built properly. I mean, you got to take into consideration the kind of traffic that's going to be using it. And if there was no monitoring of the traffic before the roundabout was designed, somebody fucked up. If you ask me, in a fair system, he's got a valid law.
The biggest problem with these intersections, from what I remember, was just visibility. Not if they just went out there and cleared the brush up around them, they would have solved the problem.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, while we're at it, while they're clearing up the brush, get rid of all the fucking wreaths and flowers and candles and teddy bears.
Yes.
We already have cemeteries for that shit. Don't put your grief feces all over the public lands.
Grief feces.
Grief feces. Yes.
Griefies.
Look,
Grief.
No, we've already got land set aside for that shit. Get it off my fucking roads.
And it contributes to distracted driving, which is incredibly dangerous.
Yes.
Now, Mitch, I partially agree with you, but on the other hand, that's a great sign for me to realize, like, oh shit, I'm going too fast through here. I'm going too fast. I need to slow down.
You say I'm in the wrong part of town.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not saying much. I'm trying to read this reply that this YouTuber I used to like now is responding to me with.
I mean, put something up there, sure. Just put up a counter for how many people died in that one spot. Hey, there's been 87 fatalities here in the last year. I better slow down.
All right, so if you see grief feces, as Mitch puts it, that's more likely somebody's been shot and killed in that area. If it's in my city, yeah, no, stand out of that area.
Around here, it's because somebody was recklessly driving on one of the roads, and they took that corner a little too fast.
Let's be honest with what all of it actually is. Bad parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All bad
Pretty
parenting.
close.
If your kids are shooting other kids and we get the grief feces, bad parenting. Even if your kid's an adult and they grew up to be that's on you, man. You're a bad parent. If your kids are driving drunk with 20 of their friends in the bed of your pickup and you crash and everyone dies, bad parenting. You raise an irresponsible asshole for a child. Or you raised an irresponsible asshole for a child if they were the passenger in the bed of the truck too, because they should have known better than to get into a vehicle with a drunk fucking driver.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. Get your shit off my public land. We have places to build a shrine in your house, put it in your front yard, go to the cemetery. Get your fucking shit off of public property.
Hey, Ray.
I'm sorry. It brought up some stuff.
It's okay.
But no, we got to tie up public land with this. We got block sidewalks, and heaven help the person who actually does anything related to those that somebody doesn't like. Oh no, they touched it. Kill them.
Well, here's my issue is it's not really grief. It's
performance art.
It's performance art. It's fucking showboating is what it is. Oh, everyone, look how much I care. Fuck you.
I'll tell you what, I
don't care in the goddamn designated area, you piece of shit.
Shit.
It's like Jordan Neely's parents. If you cared so much,
it's his father.
You would have you would have been there for him while he was alive.
Yeah.
And just like what was that asshat's name?
That
The
narrows
kid,
it
Lil
down.
Diablo, Lil Tay, or wherever the fuck got shot in Chicago. Oh, he was such a good boy. Yeah, why the fuck is he out 3 o'clock in the morning with a gun? Such a good boy.
All the didn't do nothings.
Yeah. Trayvon Martin was a fucking angel.
All the didn't do's.
Virtue grieving, Mitch. That's
What's
what
that?
Mr. Scott said. Virtue grieving.
That's actually
Yeah,
pretty
virtue
fucking
grieving,
good.
yeah.
That's a great
It really
term.
is. That's a great term for it.
I'm writing that
Nothing
on my
pisses me
list.
off. Not fooling me, assholes.
I will say that since we're getting near the 2 hour mark, I have found it pretty funny that we've had like what 4 topics really this entire it's like 4 to 5 topics ish in 2 hours.
Yes.
And this
that's
time it's
awesome.
one of the few times that my talking to the void with Mitch on it hasn't predominantly been like us discussing movies and how we want to see something. It's just like, oh, here's how we self-sabotage our love life and whatnot. And then so we're just like, and now it's the whole like, you fucking grief say virtue griefing.
I even got to spurg out on cars. So
Mhm.
Yeah, cars. I live in the city. Cars don't really matter to me.
hey, you did get to take a train. Oh God,
Let me tell you about taking trains. No, forget it.
the train enthusiast.
Yo, I am a train enthusiast. I do like trains.
Depends
I like
on what type of
trains.
train he's talking about. Heyo.
God damn it.
The love boat.
Right. Get your mind out the gutter.
I mean, he could be talking about a passenger train, a freight train,
A G train.
a coal
Gravy
train,
train.
a steam train,
Gravy train.
gravy train,
Lies.
model
lies.
trains.
Baby, with my potatoes. Sorry, I got excited.
One of the things that's pissed me off is that we have the Heartland Flyer that goes from Oklahoma City to Dallas. Amtrak. It costs $100 to ride it, and it takes an hour more than driving.
There's a shuttle train, the Amtrak train to go from Baltimore to DC. I pay like $8. Maybe less than that.
It's like shit. I have some friends that I could give them $100. They'll take me to Dallas, and
Round trip.
hell, you can get an Uber to go to Dallas for slightly more than that on the right day. It just depends on what day.
I remember one time I went to DC, right? I had a voucher. It was a $60 trip to get from my house to from the hotel I was staying at to my house in Baltimore from DC. Only paid like $27.
But since it's been about 2 hours, we are going to be
Ish.
calling it here. No, it has been over 2 hours officially.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, we did not have too much for dead air. I only had to go use the restroom once, thankfully. Because apparently
nobody
I
noticed.
am always overhydrated because I drink.
In spite of the
Jesus
echo.
Christ, I probably drink like a fucking.
Sorry,
over a
I've been
gallon
doing
of
this
water a day.
reply for a little while.
Oh, no
God, I have to
worries.
be
Like
really careful.
we just kind of have that thing that happens sometimes.
We get in the zone.
Yep.
Oh yes.
I will post a screenshot of this bullshit here,
But
it's so dumb.
with that, hope everyone has a good new year. Yeah, I don't really got much else. Don't start that new year, new me bullshit. If you were gonna start it, you were gonna start it
Nah.
beforehand.
I'm just going to become worse.
Exactly.
I'm gonna become more of a hermit.
I'm
That's my
gonna-
New Year's or my
I'm
New
gonna-
Year's.
I'm
I'm
a
gonna
guy, so I'll
gain-
be a hismit.
I'm going to gain weight. I'm going to start smoking and drinking.
Find more ways to avoid people.
I mean,
Uh,
if you start smoking, there's a plausibility you'll lose weight.
I'm going to find ways to soften.
Actually,
my
that's
spirit.
not true.
I said plausibility, not always.
I'm fat and I smoke.
Well, it depends on what you smoke. I mean,
I still just find it weird
not
that.
that. I haven't smoked that in a long time.
Yeah, I
You could be like Joe Biden and smoke children's hair.
I still just
Fuck
find it weird.
no.
I was always a better runner when I was a smoker, other than like in basic, because you know they're running you.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get out of here. So well, we still have the one thing. So for the last talking of the void for this year, any parting words of wisdom or something? Tier, go.
Don't suck on no Whit Nichols.
Angela?
Don't make resolutions. Just set goals. Give up on resolutions.
Set real. No.
No.
Don't
Hey,
make
hey, hey,
resolutions,
hey.
Set realistic goals.
Laser?
You
We'll get to
give
you.
up on resolutions when you set goals. You just keep trying after there's a bump in the road.
Okay, Will?
Don't wait or put off self-improvement. If you've got something you need to improve, start on it right away.
Mitch?
Mix your mint chocolate chip cookies with all your other cookies so that they all taste like mint chocolate chip cookies.
Laser? Or Critical Thinkers Guild?
If you're going to make resolutions, just make them realistic. That's
Tragic?
all.
Don't get into a snowball fight in a dog park.
Don't get into a snowball fight with a Keebler elf.
I bet that.
Oh my God, I've got another one. This one might work for a bumper sticker. If you can't disappoint those around you, then at least disappoint yourself.
I'd buy that for $1.
I disappointed myself
Well,
right
unless
now.
you're an orphan, you're not supposed to be disappointing yourself. That's your parents' job.
Yes.
I'm not angry at you, Roger. I'm just disappointed.
But we are gonna get out of here, folks. Have a good one. I will try to throw Angela's thing in the her YouTube channel and the thing from now on. Description. Yeah. Are you a mod, Angela?
She should be.
Believe so, but I don't know.
We'll get it later and whatnot. But yeah, go check out her stuff, the whole panel and whatnot. Yeah, so we've all got stuff we've been doing. I should hopefully have a couple gun videos to put out pretty soon.
And I'm thinking about doing a New Year's Eve stream. I'm thinking about it. More like I'll probably do it.
Okay, I'll be doing it at the gym. So
Good.
I'll be on it, but at the gym. Have a good night, everyone. We're getting out of here.
Gone.
Have a good night. Happy New Year.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Join us again next week, or you can check out the other people in the panel in the description and see us again plausibly on one of their channels, or just check out what work they've done. Have a good week, everyone.